Welcome to They Tried to Bury Us. My name is Tamer Kattan. I'll be your host. I'm a comedian, a writer, and an actor. I was born in Egypt and moved to America when I was just a kid, so I'm very proud of being an immigrant. And ever since I started doing comedy, I've met more and more immigrants, and I have found more and more amazing stories, and that's what this podcast is all about. Each week, I'm going to have a new guest. They're going to sit down and share with us their American origin stories, and we're going to get to know each other better, and we're going to find out that we're all just the same. So tune in each week, tell every single person you know, and thanks for listening. Hi, and welcome to the first episode of They Tried to Bury Us. I had a lot of back and forth on who I wanted to have on my first episode, and I'm very excited, and I think it's very appropriate that my first guest is my mom, Kity Kattan. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Habibi.
So for those of you that don't know, aren't familiar with the phrase, They Tried to Bury Us is the first half of a Mexican phrase that I learned when I was a kid. And the phrase is, they tried to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. And the reason why somebody told me that quote is because when we immigrated to America, I got picked on quite a bit. And this really sweet older Mexican man told me that quote, and it was a powerful thing for me and reminded me that I wasn't alone, and reminded me that even though we were the only Egyptians in an all Mexican and Black neighborhood, that we had a lot more in common than I thought, besides pyramids. So when we first moved to America, I remember I was a big traveler, and asking people, where are you from, was something I loved to do. It was the beginning of a fun conversation for me, because I could say, oh, I've been there, or I know how to say this bad word in your language. But where are you from became a scary thing for me in America. And then when I realized what people are really asking is they're asking, what are you like? Because we seemed weird to them. So when they said, where are you from? They were really saying, what are you like? What are you about? And I think geographic is a terrible example and a terrible representation to figure out where somebody's from, especially when your culture is or underrepresented in the media. So who did you come from is something that I think is a more powerful question than where are you from? And so if you'll allow me, Keith, I wanted to talk to you. Before we talked about immigrating to America, I just wanted to ask you about you and what kind of person you are and what kind of person it takes to leave their country behind, their culture behind, everything they know, just for the love of their kids. Mm-hmm. So let's start by, where were you born?
I born on October 15, 1947. I'm proud of my age. I'm old, but I'm very proud of my age. I born in Egypt, Cairo, an area it's called Shobra, which is, I'm very, very proud to be from Shobra, because Shobra bring a very strong people.
That's every time I meet anyone from Egypt and they find out that my mom's from Shobra, the first thing they say is the best people in Egypt are from Shobra. Is it true? Like, why are the people there so tough?
I think was a very close-knit area, and it used to be, if somebody in a trouble, they take care each other. And my background, I have two uncles who is a lawyer, and they take care people all the time. If they have a court case and find somebody from Shobra, they will take care of them. It doesn't matter. They have to take care of them. Somebody sick, they go all the way to help them, and they help everybody.
So it's like a family. They treated the community like a family, which is interesting because compared to most parts of Egypt, Shobra was the most religiously diverse.
I think was mostly Christian people, but it used to be high class, not anymore now. Not high class, but upper level a little bit, not big up level, but it's
less money,
but kind people.
Yeah.
I will say kind more than money or classy.
Okay. So when you were, I know this about you already, but how old were you when your mom died?
I was 4 months old, and I have a sister. She was 2 years old. Mm-hmm. And I think my mom died, she was 22 years, very young. Yeah. And I think she died from
Misdiagnosis?
Yes, for medication. She has pneumonia, and they say she has a stomach flu, and that's what happened.
It's one of the things people don't realize sometimes when you live in a country with terrible medical care. Everybody has these terrible stories about family members that died way too soon. And it's hard. It's a scary thing to believe that somebody in your family died from misdiagnosis, especially so young. And you were only 4 months old, so you never got to meet her.
Never knew her.
And then what happened after that, after your mom died? How was the relationship with your dad and your sister?
I think it was very hard for my father to find himself all of a sudden. He's just with 2 kids, 2 years and 4 months. He cannot take care of us, and he has to go to work. And he used to work in a very good position. He's like big accounting and Air Force in Egypt. And so my mom, she took over.
Your grandmother?
Which is my grandmother, my mom.
Yeah.
I'm very close to my mom's side. I never knew anybody from my father's side.
Wow, they never met you?
We never connect with them because after my mom passed away, all his side or aunt or uncle mostly aunt from my father's side, they think my mom, she was sick before she married, and they fool my father for that. And I felt that's not nice.
Oh, wow.
And I grew up with this, so I never like anybody from his side. Or I'm not interested to meet anybody because I felt what they say about my mom through my grandmother.
So do you think, your father pretty much gave you and your sister to your mom's mom, to your grandmother. So you're raised by your grandmother, and your dad would just show up once a week?
Once a week, twice a week to come to check, to see us. And we used to live in flat in 4th level, 4th floor. And either he come or we go downstairs to see him. He sat with us for 15 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. What you eat today, what your grandmother did for you. She served you good dinner, and all he says, that's it. And
so it must have felt weird, like to lose your mom and then have your dad be so disconnected.
I think so. And also, I never connect with my father because he used to treat my grandmother bad. So I felt more I see that, more I disconnect from him.
Why do you think he treated your grandmother bad?
I found out after he passed away, not before. He was angry, very angry with the world, because I think in his young life, his mom treated him not same like his brother. And then he gets this with him and get married with my mom. And in 3 days, he lost her with 2 girls, and he felt the world against him.
Yeah.
So he was very angry man.
An angry guy. And in Egypt, it's not like therapy is something that people embrace.
Oh, no. If you go to therapy, they think you are crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward a little bit. It's you and your sister being raised by your grandmother. And now, how old were you when your grandmother passed away?
I was 16.
So still really young.
And my sister 18. And don't forget, this was very, very sensitive age. We need her more than before.
Yeah.
And we lost her in very, very sensitive age.
Yeah. So was your sister spending a lot of time with you when you were 16 after your grandmother died? Did you get closer with your sister?
We always close. And even after my grandmother passed away, she took care of me very well. We used to fight for little things.
Yeah.
But after that, she was like mom and sister.
Oh, you're getting emotional.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been over 50 years.
Yeah.
But it still hurt.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's tough because you guys felt like you were alone at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like to bring this up, not because drama or anything, but I feel like it's a part of our history and it's a part of what makes us the way we are. Is your sister fell in love with a man at a young age, right?
Yes. I think she fell in love with him because He was older and um,
She wanted to get out of the house.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Was no place for us after my grandmother passed away.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that don't know my comedy, my family comes from an extremely religiously mixed and religiously volatile background. We have Muslims, Christians, and Jews all in the same family. And so your sister was a Coptic Orthodox woman who was in a relationship with a Muslim man.
Yes.
And so what happened with them?
I think she fell in love with him during tough time in our life.
Yeah.
And he promised her lots of things and he never did it. So she tried to get out of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And she lived with him for a while. And was no in Egypt.
Oh, they lived together before?
No in Egypt.
Yeah.
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
So actually you feel like she ran away and with no place to live. And she stayed with him for a while and he promised her to marry, but he never delivered the promise.
Yeah.
And she felt she lost it because she cannot live with him like that. And she can go back home. And I tried to get her back home. And my father asked for something unbelievable.
Mm.
He asked, I never shared this before, but I will say it. He said, if she come back, she need to go first to doctor to check if she's still gay or not.
Oh, she's so virgin.
Virgin.
Oh, God.
And was absolutely not.
It's not cool. Yeah, to do that to your own daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I try, and it doesn't work.
You tried to make him not do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, he said, both of you have to go.
He wanted to test you both.
Yeah. And that's the worst feeling.
Of course.
To feel somebody from your family take you to doctor.
Your own
check.
father, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So what happened?
I never shared this with anybody before, and that's first time. Maybe that's why I'm
I didn't
very
know.
emotional.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, very emotional.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm asking is because I want to know what you were like, what you were thinking about, what the world looked like, what it felt like, what it smelled like before you came to America. So now did your sister go and get the exam?
Absolutely not.
Oh, so you guys refused.
Refuse.
And then what happened?
And then she has to leave the relationship and she don't have anywhere to go. So she killed herself.
She killed herself.
Actually, before that, we went together for a doctor because she was depressed.
Yeah.
And the doctor, he say, you need to go to hospital for 1 week. You're very depressed.
Yeah.
And she say, absolutely not.
Because depression was for crazy
Depression
people.
for crazy people. And this way they think I'm crazy. I never get married. I never have a life. So I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So in 5 days, she killed herself.
And she did it in a very aggressive way.
Very aggressive way. And when I went to see her in emergency, I said, why?
Yeah.
Why?
She lit herself on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
why?
Why? She said, I tried to scare them. She didn't know how deep she can do that.
She wanted to
scare
it's
them.
almost like, you brought me so much pain that I'm going to bring you pain in my suicide.
Yeah. But I think she never thinks she will end her life like that.
Mm.
But they put her 14 days in emergency hospital.
Wow.
But with very, very bad hospital. I went with her first day.
Yeah.
And I cannot take it because emergency back home, they put you in a government hospital.
Yeah.
And you are in a room with 10, 13 people and they treat you so bad. And I said, I cannot let her stay here.
Yeah.
So I called neighbor. He used to be doctor in this hospital. And he removed her right away in a private room.
Mm. So she got her own room.
She got her own room, which is thank God. And I felt I think this is first day for me to feel I'm strong. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
And I'm alone. I put
At
her
16
in
years old,
16 years.
you just took control in this hospital
Yes.
room and you got something for your sister that was so hard for anybody else to get.
Yes.
Huh.
And nobody want to come visit because they all felt so guilty. They
Wow.
did it.
It was because of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did it. Not her. They
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
So I stayed with her 14 days.
Wow. Alone, just the two of you in a hospital.
Yeah.
And you're a 16-year-old girl who just lost her grandmother. Your dad isn't around, treats you like shit.
Yeah.
And now your sister's killed her or attempted to kill herself in a hospital for 14 days.
And I think nobody want to visit because they felt guilt because she did it this way. But I don't care.
Can I say something right now? Like when people ask me I've been in rooms before where they've asked boys, who's your hero? And everybody had everything from Superman to Rocky and I always said my mom. Do you think, and it's because I've always thought you were the strongest person I've ever met in my life. Like do you think this was the beginning of you becoming you, going through that experience?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Because even when she passed away, nobody around me to take care of her.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about funeral or anything.
And you had to do it all by yourself?
I didn't. And I want to put her with my mom. And they say you can't because my mom passed away like 18 years. It would be hard work.
Yeah, the cemeteries in Egypt are a mess.
Yes. So I have a friend. He came to help me and he put her not in a family grave, in their grave. And that was very tough. But I said, I don't care as long she go decent.
Yeah.
I don't want. And in Egypt, you don't stay 3 days or 4 days like America when you passed away.
Yeah.
You do it right away. In 24 hours, you have to be in a grave.
Yeah.
So I was alone and I have to make charge in 24 hours what to do.
At 16.
16, and I did it.
Wow. Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So now you're 16 years old, your grandma's passed away, your sister's passed away, your relationship with your father. I think he has diabetes at this point, and his disease has progressed so bad that he's gone blind.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I cried too much after my sister.
So he went blind after your sister died.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's guilt also.
Yeah, I
Lots of
think
guilt.
stress and guilt, those are real things. Those they have a real impact on the body.
Yeah.
So that was when you were 16 years old and you met Tino, my father, when you were 20, right?
Yes. But hold on.
Okay.
I met Gino when I was 19.
Oh, okay.
But my sister killed herself when I was 19 and she was 21. Because during this time, after my mother passed away...
Wait, you were 19 when she killed herself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So 16 is
Lost my grandmother.
when you lost your grandmother. 19 is when this all went down with your sister.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
It takes 3 years from my family to push us around. My father, he don't want us.
Gotcha.
That's
From
3
place to
years,
place. After your grandmother died, you guys bounced around.
Yes. Because my uncle, he wanna the flat for him so he can marry. And my father, he don't want us to live with him because he never used to be people live with him.
Yeah.
So he say no, and we felt like no place for us. And we grew up with lots of love. And to see that was very, very difficult.
Yeah. And for those of you wondering how this could be the first time I've had this conversation with my mom, it's because I come from a culture that embraces every aspect of the machismo culture. Boys don't cry, it makes men who don't speak. And I think I've been very guilty of not asking questions, not talking, not doing anything, really, just holding everything inside. And it turned me into an angry person. And that's been the greatest gift of stand-up comedy for me. I don't know if you've noticed a difference, but ever since I started stand-up comedy, it's been a self-examination, and I've gone to therapy. I've started going to therapy thanks to a good friend, Jerry Katzman, who convinced me to go for the first time. And so I'm having conversations with you in my 40s that I should have had with you in my 20s. So I'm really, I'm glad we're doing this for the first time on the air, because I think it's important. And thank you for doing this. So now you're 19, and you meet the man that you're going to marry.
Actually, I met him as a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about any divorce, any marriage, because very difficult time in my life. Why I think about marriage? I'm just in a situation like survive day by day.
Sure.
So, but I met, through friend, and I told him, my problem right away. And he was such a nice man. And that's before my sister.
You told him your problems right away?
Right away.
That's a terrible thing to do on a first date.
Yeah, because I wasn't looking for a relationship or boyfriend or girlfriend.
Sure.
I just have bad time in my life. And he was nice. I met him. He has a girlfriend. I met her. But second time he met me without his girlfriend, and we talk. But I liked him.
You're a homewrecker.
No. No. I like him. I make conversation. He was such a nice man.
Yeah.
And I never thought he would be husband or boyfriend or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just told him about my problem. And I think he felt so sad for me.
Yeah.
And he tried to introduce me to his mom right away, which is, she was the biggest heart in my life I met.
Yeah, she's got a huge heart.
Yes.
That's the Greek side of our family. This is my red-haired, green-eyed, crazy
red hair.
Stella Manoli Gigianopoulos.
Absolutely right. So I think he told his mother about my situation.
Yeah.
And as soon as I met her, she said, "Give me your sister's phone number," because that's before she killed herself.
Okay.
And she called my sister and she told her, "I'm here for you guys.
Wow.
You come visit me. I'm here. If you need anything, if you want to live with me, you come over."
Wow.
And I said, no, I don't want to start this because he's not my boyfriend.
Yeah.
But she used to call
and people from Shobra are pretty proud people.
Yes, very, very proud.
Yeah.
So I think when my sister killed herself and I stay in the hospital with her, Mom, Stella Gideon, she used to send me, they came from rich family.
Yeah.
She used to have 3 servants around her. She used to send me every day 1 servant to stay with me.
Yeah.
And she used to go buy clothes for me. So she sent me fresh clothes every day.
Because you were staying in the hospital.
Because I stay in the hospital.
Wow.
She buy it for me.
Wow.
And every day she sent clothes with the maid to change clothes and stay with me whole day.
Mm-hmm.
For 14 days she did that.
Wow.
So when my sister passed away, she called me right away and she said, "I want you to come straight from the grave to my house."
From the cemetery to the house. Okay.
Yes. To my house. And I did because I feel like I don't want to see anybody from my father, my uncle.
Sure.
I have a great father, a grandfather, but he was hopeless case. He cannot do anything because his son controls the situation. And he told me, "I'm sorry, I can't help it." Mm-hmm. So anyway, I was her just one day and I left, but I felt so good in her home.
Mm-hmm. You felt comfortable?
Felt so loved.
Wow.
More love I never seen before. So from here, I started dating.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very sneaky of you.
Yes.
Did his girlfriend probably didn't like the fact that there was a cute girl from Shobra moving into the apartment?
His girlfriend, he used to know her for 7 years. Mm-hmm. But still, I never liked her. But still, from first day, she liked me very much. And she said, please call me mama. And I said, how I call her mama?
Yeah.
But it come from my mouth with true love.
Yeah.
So that's why when it's just love connect right away.
Why do you think you guys connected so strongly?
I don't know. I don't know. But she was very sweet woman.
Yeah.
And she knew he stand up by me 100%.
Yeah.
And that's very, very strong. And he used to open my wallet. He used to love to open girls' purse to check what they have, lipstick.
Very sneaky.
Yeah. He used to love to do that.
he was a pickpocket?
I don't know. But when he always opened my wallet, he cannot see any money except the money for the ride back home. Just exactly. So he used to put for me a pound every time I met him.
He put extra money.
Extra money.
Yeah.
And when I go, I said, don't do that. I don't need it. He said, okay, just keep it for me. So I felt the love. I lost it from my grandmother.
And your mother too, really,
Yeah, but I don't feel it because I never see my mom. I never know the love. Sometimes when I see, sorry, I'm going to say something.
Okay.
I see Kelly with her kids. I'm so proud of her, but not jealous. I'm proud of her, but I say, I'm wonder if I have a mom, she will do same thing. But also my grandmother, she gave me lots of love, but I don't know the love of mom or grandma.
Wow. So even now at this age, you're looking at my girlfriend's sister.
Yes.
And wondering if your mom would have been as good of a mom as she is.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't misunderstand. Yeah. My grandmother gave me too much love, but it's... you have a difference between the love from grandmother and the love from mom.
Of course.
And that's why I always say I'm proud of Kelly.
Yeah. I am too. She's a great mom.
A great mom. But I know my mom, she will speak two languages, French and Arabic. And she learned in school very French. She knows about etiquette and protocol, and she used to do her clothes.
Yeah. Designed her own clothes?
Yes. And
Which
I still have...
You do. You did that when you were in school.
Yes. And I still have one nightgown for her before she married. And I still have it in my door.
Wow.
I will someday I will pass it to your kids. Someday, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe my kids will walk around a weird old Egyptian nightgown.
No. It's a very modern. No. You have to see it.
Sounds scary. It sounds scary from us.
It's a very modern.
Little kids walk around nightgowns. You know how many creepy people are in America?
They save it when they grow.
All right. Okay, so this is a beautiful thing. This if this was a movie, this would be the end of the story, right? That you had this extremely challenging childhood, and then you meet this wonderful man and his wonderful mom, and things are looking good. And how far into your relationship before you guys started talking about America and getting married? And
actually, he was tried to immigrate to America, and I was just a girlfriend with him. And I said, I can help you because, he grew up in an area, it's called Masr Jadida. It's a very classic, rich people. They don't know what the heck any place else in Egypt.
So you were the real city girl.
Yes.
And he was like kind of this rich kid that didn't really know what real Egypt was.
He don't know.
Yeah.
If I tell him, I give him date. When he date me, I have to go the date all the way from Shubra to his area because one time he gave me in downtown Egypt. He don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So I always date him in his area because he don't know.
Because he doesn't know the rest of Egypt.
Yeah. But I know everywhere in Egypt.
Yeah.
So I said, I can help you because he asked me one day, I want to do this and I don't know where. I said, I can.
He didn't even know where to get started.
Yeah. And I said, if you let me know, I can help you because I felt the time for me to help him after he helped me through my sister.
Oh, interesting.
So
did you actually know how to begin the immigration process, or did you just feel
No.
obligated to help him because he helped you?
yes, I felt I need to return the favor.
Gotcha.
He was a nice man and I need to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he said, no, you don't have to do. I said, yes, I can. And plus, in order to finish any single paperwork, you have to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning to stay in a line in somewhere in middle Cairo.
Lines everywhere in Egypt.
And line, you stay 4 hours in the sun until you get your turn. I don't think so, Chino, he can do that.
In the African sun. And he was too spoiled to ever experience things like that.
Yeah, I think he will go home.
Yeah.
He will go home.
Yeah. That's why when people ask me who's the toughest person you know, I always say my mom.
Oh, thank you, Tamer.
Because it is. You're a very strong person.
I did every single paper for the immigration. And I go and I tell Tamer, Chino, this is finished. Okay, he's so excited. I can't believe it. He's so proud of me. And I do, what's next? Give me this. And I go.
So you're doing his homework for him.
I did everything. Like he has a friend, he passed away. He came to me and he said, can you do it for me? I said, I'm sorry.
So then he wanted you to do it for him too?
Not, his friend. And I said, no. I don't wake up in the morning 4 o'clock for you. You need to stay in the line.
Yeah.
I did this for Chino because they was very good people to me through hard time.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of immigrant that doesn't make it.
Yes, I agree.
It's a different kind of person.
And
it takes a special kind of person to get here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So then what next? You do all the paperwork.
I did. So
how long did that process take?
Maybe it take 1 year.
A year.
A year and a half.
A year and a half of filling out paperwork, turning it in, waiting for responses.
Yeah, okay. And you go different area and they treat you so bad. If anything missing, anything, you come back.
Do they want you to leave Egypt or do they want you to stay? When people want to immigrate out of Egypt, do the people in the government offices treat you well, or do they?
No, they treat you bad because they are jealous.
They're jealous.
And during this time, nobody allowed to emigrate unless you are educated with college degree.
Interesting. A lot of people don't know this. So, like when Egypt allowed people to leave the country, they only allowed the people that represented the country well.
Yes.
So you had to have. It wasn't even an American requirement. It was more Egypt that was saying, we don't want Egyptians to go there that aren't going to make us look good.
No. The American sent papers say, we need right now doctor.
Oh.
We need nurse. We need accounting. So that's why when Chino find out they need accounting, he put the application.
Interesting.
Not Egypt. But when we do the paperwork, the people work in a government, they feel so jealous of you.
Yeah.
So they delay everything for no reason.
Did your religious background come into this? Because on your side, we've got Christians and Jews. On Tino's side, we've got Muslims.
Yes.
And so when they saw a Muslim man with a woman who's
from the name, they figure it out through the name.
Yeah.
So they throw the paper, come back tomorrow. And I feel like I'm idiot. I don't know why they say come back tomorrow. One time with a young man.
You're like, I'm doing the paperwork right.
Yeah.
And they keep telling you, come back tomorrow, come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
How often did that happen?
Oh, many times. Okay. Until one time, young guy, he came out behind the desk and he said, ma'am, you discriminated because your name and your husband name different. So they're not going to do the paper. Yes. Yeah. So I said, okay, salam a bitch, I'm going to do it. I went, I'm sorry, I said that word.
You can say son of a bitch on here. Yeah.
So it's with a slang, so they don't understand. Yeah. So anyway, I went to his supervisor and I said, I need this paper finished today. Mm-hmm. Today, I've been here for 1 month and I don't know why.
So you kept going back every day for a month?
Back and forth. And I figure out if delay because of the religion of different name.
Yeah.
I figure it out because this young man, he told me.
They didn't know who they were messing with, though.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yes. So we did it. But during this
time... So you got the paperwork. Then what happens at the end of the paperwork process? You told the guy, I need this done today. And he He listened. You
Yes.
convinced him.
Yes. Some people give money, but I don't have
Bribes.
money to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm loud, if you know. I'm sure I'm loud.
So you could either bribe people,
Yes.
or you could look like a troublemaker
With a strong voice.
with a strong, loud
Strong voice.
Yeah. So they get caught for being corrupt.
Yeah. You get it now. You get it now.
So you raised your voice.
Yes.
A woman in Egypt raised your voice.
And they get scared of that.
Yeah.
They get scared.
Yeah.
So anyway, during this time, I wasn't married, Chino, and everybody told me, don't do it, because if he go to America, he forget about you.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't care. He's a nice man. I will do it. And during this time, he asked me to marry him. And I said, maybe he joke or something. But when he asked his mom, she answered, she say, actually, I feel today you marry my daughter and you are my son-in-law. What a good mother.
Wow. So she's saying that she loved you more than she loved him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, she's my daughter and now you became my son-in-law. And I
Wow.
said, that's the love you never find it any place.
Yeah. You guys had a really special relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, we get the immigration. I finish everything.
Yeah.
And we get the immigration. And we get landed on Ohio, not California, because Ohio too cold, nobody want to go. And they told me on American Embassy, if you want it so fast, do it Ohio.
Because nobody wants to go to Ohio.
Yeah. So I did it.
Yeah.
And when we came, they say, sorry, Tucino, you're not going anywhere. You need to go to the army.
Oh my God. So
And
then he got
that's
drafted.
You
go through all that.
Yes. And that was the worst day for Chino. Because believe it or not, Chino stayed 6 years, best time in his life on the army. And I'm sorry to say, the army changed Chino's life.
Yeah.
Completely changed his life.
Yeah.
His love there,
Yeah.
but with a dry love.
He saw some bad things.
He used to sleep in a tent, in the sand.
Yeah.
And he was spoiled. He used to do ironing his sheet. And all of a sudden to do that.
Yeah.
And
he used to have servants that ironed his
Yes.
sheets, and now he's sleeping in the
not the
desert.
servant, they sent it to place.
Oh, they
to
sent it
do
to a place to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
They were fancy. They were a fancy family.
Very rich people, but I have to say, very down to earth people.
Yeah.
They treat you very sweet.
Yeah.
So
I think he had PTSD from the war. I think he had
he was
post-traumatic
completely
stress
different.
disorder, and he never went to therapy, but it made him a very angry.
One time he was sick and he cannot stay home. He has to go back to the army. They gave him 24 hours.
Yeah.
And when he was shaking, he needs those. They sent him to the army hospital. And he went there. They told him, give him the pajama from the guy passed away right now. Give it to him. And he was going crazy.
So he had to wear a dead man's pajamas while he was being examined.
Yes, and he cannot do anything. So anyway, the army destroyed your father's life.
Yeah.
And we stayed 6 years like that. And finally, when he come out, he said, I need to get out of this country. I can stay one day. He went, they hire him for some place. He went, he don't have desk for himself. Yeah. They say you stand up all day. Can you believe it?
They hired him?
As accounting.
And he had to be a stand-up accountant?
He don't have a desk. And they tried to teach him how to learn to take money from people to finish the business. And he say, no, I'm not.
Oh, like to be corrupt.
Corrupt. And he say, no, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
So he came home and he told his mother, I cannot live here. I can't. So I said, let me go to see the immigration.
So interesting. Let me just clarify something for people that might be racist and tuning in.
Yeah.
So in America, where they think, where some people might think that immigrants are criminals, the reason why he wanted to leave Egypt is because he was the opposite. He didn't want to do anything that was corrupt. He didn't want to be in a place where people treated people fairly or unfairly because of socioeconomic class. He wanted to leave Egypt because what America represented was
honesty.
That's what America stood for in Egypt.
Honesty.
It was honest and fair.
And you don't lie.
And there's the leaders aren't liars here.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And as they say, I went to the embassy because he's American embassy. He's not allowed to go there because he just finished army. Maybe he has some information. He's not allowed to go. I said, let me go. So when I went, they say, I'm sorry, we destroy all the paper.
Unbelievable.
Because the paper, we allowed to keep it for 2 years, and after that, we destroy it. So I said, oh my God.
So while he was in the military, that time had
Destroyed.
expired and they destroyed the
Yeah.
paperwork.
So in my way out, I met one lady, she's Egyptian. And I was going with long face, and she say, what's wrong? And I said, I think destroy my husband paper. We need to go. And she say, what's your name? I said, so and so. What's your name? And she say, my name is Georgette. I said, oh, I love your name because that's was my mom name, Georgette.
Wow.
And she say, you know what? Hold on, let me go check. And she come back and she say, believe it or not, they destroy all the paper, but your husband paper is still there.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So I was jumping all over the embassy,
Oh my
American
God.
embassy. And I say, oh my God, just one word. I said her name like my mom. I made communication,
Yeah.
like very friendly atmosphere. And she say, let me go check more. And she come back and she say, so I went home, and he has.
Do you think because you told her you have the same name as my mom and you had a genuine connection with her as a human being, she decided to try harder to find your
I
paperwork?
think so.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're sweet and nice, people, they do extra steps for you. But if you just grumpy and long face,
Yeah.
they want you get out of here right now.
So the woman with your mom's name
Yes.
created a miracle.
She helped me.
She
Her
created a
name
miracle.
Georgette. I
Yeah.
never forget her.
Yeah.
So I went home, and he used to come from the army every time. He opened his closet, and he has a one brown jacket, cashmere. He has his paperwork, landing paperwork, and open it up and look at it and put it back with destroy.
So he'd look at this paperwork
And
because
put it back in his pocket because he finished it, but he can go.
wow.
So, but I came, I said, Chino, get this paper out of the jacket. We allowed to do it. He said, no, you're crazy. I said, yes, we do. So I said, he said, I can go back at the embassy after 2 years. I said, let me do it. So I went to Georgette and I asked her, what's the best way? She said, best way, if he's in army, he's not allowed to go anywhere except after 2 years. I said, we don't need this 2 years. What do we do? And she said, if you get work from any place outside Egypt, we send the paper through the embassy,
Consulate?
Embassy paper every month. They sent embassy paperwork.
Oh, okay.
They sent it to the different country. So I said, okay. She say, let him get job in any different country. Middle
Outside of
East,
Egypt.
Outside Egypt. So he got through friend work in Beirut, Lebanon, Beirut,
Yeah.
to work as accounting. And I told her he got job there. And so we got this through friend also.
Yeah.
So she said, okay, we sent him the paper. We sent the paper to embassy, Beirut embassy, and he can finish the work there. And we skip the 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And we did that. So Chino left. So he finished the army July. He was out of the country September. So in 2 months, he was out of the country.
Wow.
Yeah. And he went to work for 6 months in Beirut. And we stay in Cairo, Egypt, just me and you with Lella, which is
So he
his
left
mother.
without us.
Of course,
He got to America alone.
alone. And he tried to finish his paper by himself from Beirut. And he did it through Beirut. And he said, I did it. I'm allowed to go America. And I said, you know what? I don't have a nerve to tell your mom we're leaving.
Oh my God.
So what to do?
Such a bittersweet moment. So you finally
Yeah,
get to go to America, but now but you're living in this apartment with this
I can't.
amazing woman who's like a second mom.
I can't enjoy it. I can't. I'm so scared. I don't want to disappoint her to
Yeah.
leave her alone. So Chino, he did asked to go Beirut, 3 of us, you and me and Lila, and he can tell her in Beirut he's going to America. Because I don't want to do that.
You didn't want to do it.
And during this time, when you born, I get okay with my father. I mean, I used to go every time, get, salary, and they give me hard time because my IG ripped. And they say, no, get new one. So one time...
Was it about the ID being ripped, or was it about different religious?
I think both.
Yeah.
So I went to one time Shobra to do it. And I walk front the club. My father, he stays there all the time to drink coffee and all that. And I saw him. I felt he cannot see. So I went to, and I walk front him. He didn't see me. So I said, oh my God, he looks like he's a blind. Blind people, they look up too much, And I said, I think he's a blind. So I went home to my mother-in-law and I told her I was crying. And she said, okay.
You didn't talk to him? So you stood in front of him?
I stood in front of him.
And you could tell he didn't see you?
Yeah.
And then you just went away?
Yeah. And I walked and I said, I think this guy, he cannot see. So I went to my mother-in-law and I told her, she said, okay. She was very good woman. And she said, you call him right now. We Google, and we used to have book back Egypt, telephone book.
Yeah.
And I Googled for the club number. It's called Ahwa.
Did you say Google?
Through the book, I mean.
Oh, so you're using the word Google like search?
Yeah.
So you looked through the
book.
Okay, I got you. I'm like, wow, you're pre-Google. You're Googling before Google was Googling.
No.
Okay.
So he used to sit, they call it ahwa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Coffee.
So he drank coffee and tea and all that. And I asked for, I said, can I speak to Mr. Khairi, which is my father, and he came over a phone. I said, hi, I am Kity. And was silent. And he said, I don't have anybody named Kity. Wow. I said, okay, if you need me, you can call me. Here, my phone number. And he said, no. Can you meet me tomorrow, 9 o'clock?
Wow.
And I said, okay. But I was so scared. So I called my uncle, the youngest uncle, and I told him, in case by 5 o'clock I don't come back, you come get me. Maybe they kill me or do something.
Jeez.
So my mother...
you're afraid of your own father killing you?
Yeah. Because, I married different religion, I did everything, I take care of my sister, without
so
anybody.
You felt he had animosity towards you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So when I went, I tried to shake his hand, but I met him in his brother's house. Everybody was around the room to watch what's going on. And they make a sign for me. He cannot see it. Because I put my hand to shake his hand, he cannot see it. So they show me he cannot see. So I said, you want to talk? And he said, before we talk, I just want to tell you one thing. If I did something wrong for you and your sister, God will punish me. But if you do it against me, God will punish you. And I said, that's great. Okay, you want to talk? He said, no, not here, in my home. I said, okay. So I went with him, his home. It was just like 5 minutes of walking. And he said, all I want to do now, I want to give you all my money. And I said, I'm not coming for money. He said, no, you need to take all my money. Back home, we have the money as in a bank, cash.
Yeah.
And he said, but you promise if I need anything, you come immediately. Because back home, if he passed away, I can have all this money. They
don't give it to the daughter.
No, I take it, but because he don't have a boy, my cousin, they have everything.
Unbelievable.
And he said, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So you have a son now. Someday maybe I meet him. But in 14 days, he gave me everything. And he passed away. And this money helped me to put my ticket to America. I pay for my ticket here for you and me, and Beirut ticket. And I got clothes, warm clothes, and blanket and stuff before to come America.
She thought we were going to Ohio.
Yeah. And it's just because when I come over, we don't know how much money we have, how much. So I don't want to spend the money.
But how long was Tino in America without us first?
For 1 year.
For a year.
And 6 months in Beirut.
I remember when we were in Egypt, you used to trace my hand.
Yes.
So he could see how much I was growing.
And I traced how tall you are, and I mark it in a paper so he can see it. So we came America after that, but thank God for my father money. Mm-hmm. I never told anybody that because I don't want to, people think, he can afford it or anything. But no, I said, time for me to pay ticket, and he took care of me well before that. So time for me to stand up by him. And we came before Christmas, was December 6th.
So you come here, you land in America, you've got this this armor from all these life experiences that you went through.
Yeah.
And what was the hardest thing about getting? I want to know what was the hardest day and what was the best day after you got to America.
The hardest day, I take a walk with you first day because your father finds job in Bank of America as a tailor. Mm-hmm. He used to make $475 a month. And he kept telling me through letter, when you come over, you cannot eat meat, we cannot buy fish, we can't, not like my mother home. And I said, don't worry about it. I will make it happen.
Yeah.
So I take a walk with you. We lived in Hollywood, first apartment.
Yeah.
And I tried to put letter to Lila, to Stella, your grandmother. Yeah. And we stand up by the mailbox with a blue mailbox. And I don't know how to put the envelope inside the mailbox. Yeah. And we keep going around. No. And finally...
Like it was a Rubik's Cube that we were walking and trying to solve.
Yeah. Maybe, believe it or not, it was the longest 5 minutes. I can't find, what is the heck to put the letter here? Yeah. Finally, you figure it out. He said, Kity, here, the handle, open the handle, oh my God. I find something unbelievable. So I felt so good. I figured out something.
That was the best day?
Best day for me.
What was the worst day?
The worst day when the dog bites you.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst day. I don't speak English. I don't know anything. And you came from school, you tried to
Just so people understand what it's like to be an immigrant, both my parents had 2 jobs each. My mom would sometimes bring bikinis home from this clothing factory and sew hang tags into the bikinis all night while we were watching TV till her fingertips bled. And what did you get for every hang tag you sewed in? How much money did they give you?
It used to be to trim the swimwear. From the thread.
That's right.
And sometimes need work to put knots around or something, So I used to make penny.
A penny.
But believe it or not.
A penny per piece.
Yes. But believe it or not, in 2 years, we save all this money. We don't touch it.
Yeah.
In 2 years, we put down payment for first house from these pennies.
These pennies?
Yes.
Added up to the down payment of our first house?
Yes. Believe it or not.
And this is the type of person that people think are going to break by yelling out things like, go back to where you came from.
Yes.
What a joke. It's like throwing rocks at King Kong. Yes. You can't break us.
No. If you work hard, you have it.
Yeah.
If you're lazy, you never get it.
I don't think you can get to America without working hard.
I think everybody work hard in this country.
I don't know. I think some people think like, oh, you just have to be a good runner. Or you have to be able to jump fences, or just any random person could just be evil and get here. And it's like, it takes an incredible amount of resilience to get to this country.
Yes.
So the day I got bit by the dog, you guys had 2 jobs each. I remember the first time I went to school, the night before, you took me and stood on the street and said, when this bus comes at this time, hop on the bus. And I was standing there alone on the street after you guys, I woke myself up. I took my own lunch. What was I, 7 years old, standing in the street. This bus rolls up. It was an RTD bus, not a school bus. And I didn't know. and it drove away, and I just stood in the street crying.
Yeah.
Until people came and asked me what's wrong, and I knew the very little English that I knew, and I said, I missed my bus. And they said, no, it's this one. And then the yellow bus rolled up. And that was a terrible way to enter school, is walking up on a bus crying.
Yeah.
So I got picked on pretty bad
But
after that.
also, I remember one thing very fast. I will say that they have, when you went to school, they have school trip,
I remember
and they
this.
sent paper to sign it at home. So we don't understand, or your father, he didn't
Permission
see it,
slip.
permission slip,
Yeah.
and we don't sign it. So the school called me same day. They say everybody going trip except Tamer because
Field
you
trip.
don't sign field trip
Yeah.
because you don't sign the paper. So he will stay behind. And I said, oh my God, I don't understand what they say. All I understand, Tamer not going.
Yeah.
So I called a friend. She's no longer a friend, but she called the school to find out what they say, and she explained to me what they say. So I have to run like 5 miles from my apartment all the way from St. Gabriel to Pasadena to reach your school to sign this paper, because I don't want you to be behind alone. And everybody went to field trip.
How many miles?
5 miles.
You ran 5 miles to
miles.
sign a parent permission slip
I
so I
did.
could go on this ridiculous field trip.
I arrived when the kids was going inside the bus, and you was in school. And I said, no, Tamer going right now. Let me sign.
Yeah.
And I called Chino. I asked him what to say.
Yeah.
And the teacher. And he told me, the worst thing to ask people what I say here, what to say, what to do. It's very, very difficult
Yeah,
when you
to
don't
rely on
speak a
strangers
language. Yeah.
for help. Yeah.
But we used to watch Sesame Street together to learn English.
I remember.
Yeah.
Your
It
English,
was
you got pretty good, kid.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You correct me a lot, and I'm very proud of you.
Well, you taught me a lot too.
Thank you.
You taught me a lot too.
Life, it's lesson.
Yeah. I'm very happy that you're American.
Me too. I'm proud to be American.
Yeah, I am too.
But I never forget where I come from,
Yeah.
because that's part of my blood. And
Of course.
I'm proud American, but I'm also from Shubra.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were my first guest, and I'm even more excited that you're going to be my co-host.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited about collecting these stories because, I even have a joke where I say, when I get up on stage and I go, I'm an Arab, but no one believes me because I'm happy. And it's because there aren't happy Arabs on TV. There's only bad Arabs doing bad things. And I think what this is going to do, and I hope that it does, is it makes a collection of stories, not just about Arabic people, but about people from all around the world. And the best thing about America is that the hardest working people come here. And that's exactly what the founding fathers were. They were the hardest working people that didn't give up, and they came and they fought and they pursued happiness for themselves and for their kids. And that's what I love about this country. And that's what I never want this country to lose. So Thank you for being my guest. Thank you for being my mom. Thank you for making me strong. And we'll see you guys at the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. They tried to bury us. Tell everybody.
I'm democratic, by the way.